Okay, Angela Giles back here right now from sunny San Diego. We're in part two of day one social media training. We're finishing up a discussion about content, and then we're going to talk about networking and branding. Now, let's talk really quick about content. If you're afraid that, well, you know what, I can research and I can get more information, but right now I want to start getting content out there. I want to start sharing and things with people. Well, how do I do that? If I'm just getting started or I don't know where to go and things like that. And here's what I'll tell you. What you can do is, if you're nervous about creating your own content at first, what you can do is look at other people out there, like we talked about. Google whatever your niche is. Say your niche is, training dogs, because I'm talking about dogs. Training dogs. Well, Google training dogs. Find a great video, and guess what you do? You retweet that video. Put a link on your blog, or just retweet the video out to your Twitter followers and say, great, great video on training dog, in the link. And so every day or every other day or once a week, as you're building your Twitter base of people that are interested in the same things you are, like say that you're building a Twitter base of people that are dog lovers because you're a dog lover and you want to start selling things to people, other dog owners. I'm just making this as an example, but here's an example. You could do it with anything. What will happen is they'll start to expect that you're going to provide great content to them, even if it's other people's content. As long as you're giving them credit and just pointing them to that person's information, that is great. What you want to be known as is the king or queen of great content, someone that they can rely on, or that's an expertise in the field. Even if you're getting that content from someone else, it's okay as long as you give them credit. And as you start feeling more and more comfortable and you're providing, that regular value-driven content to them, they'll keep coming back to you. They'll be coming back to your blog. They'll be checking your tweets. They'll sign up for your RSS feed. And don't worry about that term if you don't know what it is, because we'll talk about that in future videos. And you, my friend, will start developing more and more followers, and those will turn into potential prospects, potential sales, and eventually income. And you'll see how that works in later videos. But that's what's really exciting. So make sure that your content is value-driven. Whatever you do, even if, here's one perfect example of something else you can do as you're developing your personal self. What you can do is say that you read a half a chapter a day on, developing your personal self, whatever it may be. Say you're learning how to meditate. Well, you could read a chapter, go for a 15-minute walk, get all this stuff going in your mind, or a half an hour walk, so you exercise at the same time, or go to the gym and you think about this stuff. Then you come home and make 5 2-minute or 1-minute clips on it, and there you go. You may have 5 short videos, one for each day of the week, that you can put out on your blog. And that's great value-driven content if you've thought about it, processed it, and regurgitate it in your own words and what it means to you and how it can help someone else. I guarantee you there's so many different ways that you can create value-driven content. It's just a matter of learning and exploring, or sharing with other people's great content until you're ready to develop your own. Okay, I hope you understand that content is king, and that is crucial for you to make this social buzz just explode and go viral. The third thing that we're going to talk about is networking. This is huge, my friends. Networking is where it's at. So you've got this great mindset. You're starting to develop great content, or you're sharing with other people great content. Now networking. Here's what you need to do. You need to develop strategic relationships with other people. And it's great. If you have a lot of friends already out there, that's wonderful and that's great. And quantity is great. But you also need to think about quality. And I know this may sound crazy at first, but think about this. Go out and find the people in your niche. Like for me, example, I love online marketing. So one of the very first people that I was attracted to was Mike Dillard or Jonathan Budd, or any of the great names out there. And what I did is I went out and I got on their list. I got on their Twitter, became a Twitter friend, a Facebook friend, a MySpace friend. I start commenting on their stuff so my face shows up to their friends. I ask them, hey, I love this article, or I love this video. Do you mind if I share it with my friends? I want to get myself out there, and you want to get yourself out there so that they know you. They know your name, they know your face, and they're like, oh. So as you are going out, this is where you're giving. You're going out and saying, hey, you wrote something great, or you did something great. Can I use this and share it? So share it with my friends. You know, even if you have 5 friends, you're sharing it. And so what happens is you start to see the great content that they've developed. You can incorporate that in your own life, start becoming a person known as an expert in your niche, even if it's the same niche, because you're constantly providing regular good content, value-driven content to your friends and your followers and your networks. And what happens is that as other friends of, you know, the expert that you're following sees that your name's out there and they see you commenting on their stuff all the time, they're like, well, I want to know who that person is. They're like, I want to know who Angela Giles is, and this is what's happened to me. I want to know. So then they add me as a friend to whatever network I'm talking about, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, it doesn't matter. And pretty soon I've developed this huge base of friends that are all really good people of value-driven content, just because I went out and tried to network and was efficient in networking with people that were already established experts and leaders and had already created social buzz in the medium that I wanted. And that is how you can easily and quickly get out there and start building strategic relationships. Now, what happens is that as you start to build these relationships, people that have already created social buzz may take notice of you and say, hey, you know, thank you, and great. And it may not happen overnight, but it will happen. And you can get to the point where you can ask them and say, hey, can I, you know, I've, you know, done this. I've sent out your content a lot. I think it's great. Would you mind, you know, reading this piece I made or watching this video? If you like it, would you send it out to your network of people? Well, guess what? If they've created huge social buzz, they're going to have a huge network. And if you can, you know, establish that kind of strategic relationship with someone of that nature, then you can get your stuff out there and it can become this huge viral thing. So that is the very first thing you need to do. And then secondly, start developing strategic relationships with other people that are in your field. They may not be the king, but they're on their way and they're up and coming, and they create great valuable content. So you can trade back and forth. You can send them an email. You could just Facebook them and say, hey, you know, I've got some great valuable content here. You know, check out this video. I've seen some of yours. Would you like to do some switching or some trading sometimes? You know, if you wouldn't mind, if you like my content, my video that I just made, and you send it out to your friends and your networks, I'd be happy to do the same thing for you. So send me something and I'll send it out. You know, you don't want to do this every day, but you want to strategically build these relationships so that you can send out these great, wonderful, content-driven or valuable content stuff, information, not only to your networks, to the strategic relationship business partners that you've developed, to their networks, and it becomes this huge viral effect. It is huge. And you'll want to look for these people on places like Facebook, Dig, YouTube, MySpace, things of that nature. That is crucial. Imagine if you had 50 friends, 50 strategic relationships, and they were all willing to send out a video you had made, and they all had, 500 friends, and then those people sent it. Some of those people sent it out because they liked it, because it was a great piece of content. Imagine how quickly and virally that will spread. And we're going to talk about that in day 2 and get really into some specifics there, but just imagine that. Now, briefly, we're going to talk about branding here. Branding is critical, and I don't know how many times I've had people call me up. I mean, it happens like at least once or twice a week. Hey, and it's the same people over and over, and then I'll get new ones that are calling, but the same people over and over. Hey, every 3 months or 4 months, I just got into this new business. It's great, Angela. I know how great you are with marketing online. So, come join it with me. And then they'll try, and I'm like, well, and they're like, then we can set up all these web pages and do all of this. And I've said this time and time again. It's not about branding your business. It's about branding you. You're not going to brand, Juice Company A and then brand Juice Company B when you jump from that business to the next one, because you haven't learned yet. And you keep making the same mistake over and over. It's about branding yourself. It's about branding Angela Giles or Sally Joe Smith. You create you. You share with people what makes you tick, what makes your life exciting, what's all you are all about. I'm all about personal growth and internet marketing. That's what I brand. And if I do a business, it's always a back-end social media thing that comes in the back after I've provided tremendous information to my friends. And that, my friends, is how I brand myself, and the income comes along. And we'll explain more of that too in further upcoming videos. But it's so crucial that you brand just you. Now, what I want to do is we have part 3 of this training, day 1, social media training. So I'm going to stop here and we'll go to day 3. We'll see you there in just a minute. I mean, part 3.